Let's synchronize.
What chance of redemption is there with some of the NBA's worst contracts? A couple of days before Christmas, Orlando Magic center Nikola Vucevic went down with a fractured metacarpal bone in his left hand, and will miss 6 to 8 weeks of action. Vucevic had been in the middle of possibly the best season of his career, finally turning the long two-point jump shots he has always taken and turning them into three-pointers, thereby significantly improving his offensive efficiency as he averaged 17.4 points per game on a 55.7 true shooting percentage, while also passing for a 190 assist rate. The latter two numbers are career-high marks, and Vucevic has become a versatile and important half-court offensive option. In the starting spot that he has had to vacate has moved Bismack Biyombo, who is the opposite of that. With arms that stretch from about here to punt to fract, but with a much lower skill level with the ball, Biyombo's role on the current Magic team and on all his prior teams is to defend the paint, defend the perimeter as best he can, and clear the glass. Initially, Biyombo began this year poorly. While his shot-blocking threat is legitimate and his rebounding rate always good, his offensive abilities are so limited that pairing him with other limited offensive players is a problem. A player who can neither post, shoot nor act a roll man with any consistency, defenses leave Biyombo, and if the offensive players around him are also limited, the entire unit has nothing. Despite the fact that Orlando as a whole started the season as a surprisingly dynamic offensive unit, Biyombo's October offensive rating was a mere 85. For comparison's sake, Vucevic's was 116. Of late, though, Biyombo has been good. He has moved into the starting lineup without Vooch, and as a starter averages 8.3 points, 11.5 rebounds and 2.3 blocks in only 28.2 minutes per game. He suddenly looks strong, confident, agile, and precisely aware of the role he is there to fill. He is even shooting 85.7 from the free throw line as a starter, which is probably an anomaly but a very welcome one. Biyombo's contract is nonetheless enormous. Signing a 4-year contract for exactly $17 million in each season, he is still being paid a huge amount per annum for a player who averages 4.8 points and 5.4 rebounds per game on the year, who plays only one position, and who cannot pair with the player he backs up, who is too good for him to surpass. However, if he can play like this when needed, the player is still useful despite the size of the contract, and the deal itself becomes redeemable. This is not the first good stretch of Biyombo's career, and nor ought it be the last. This made us think, which other albatrossion contracts out there might also have a chance at being redeemable. Below, we look at some of the league's bigger deals that still have significant time left to run, yet to which the players signed are doing little. Atlanta - Miles Plumlee, center, 3 years, $37. Atlanta has Miles Plumlee and his contract on their books right now on account of its inclusion being necessary to make the finances of the Dwight Howard to Charlotte deal work. and Howard did not have enough suitors for the Hawks to be picky about this. At the time of writing, Plumlee is actually a starter for the Hawks. He has been for the last 11 games, and for 16 out of the last 17. He became one by default when both impressive rookie John Collins and outside chance Most Improved Player candidate Dwayne Dedmon both got hurt at the same time, as did young veteran stretch 4-5 hybrid Mike Muscala. At that point, someone had to man the middle. Even then, however, former two-way contract player Tyler Cavanaugh has arguably outshined Plumlee. Whereas Plumlee is a classic paint center who leaves the paint only to screen, never shoots anything longer than a foul shot, who tries to clear the glass and fouls anyone attacking the rim at the other end, Cavanaugh is a stretch 5 who spots up, runs dribble handoffs and adds spacing to the team's offense, while just about rebounding enough to mask his lack of athleticism. Plumlee isn't doing enough in his role, 4.8 points, 3.7 rebounds, 0.5 blocks, 18.5 minutes per game, to remove this doubt. And while Plumlee costs $12.5 million a year, Cavanaugh costs merely the minimum. Back with both the Milwaukee Bucks and Phoenix Suns, and very briefly with the Indiana Pacers before them, Plumlee showed he could be somewhat productive as a rebounder, shot blocker and dunker if he was given enough minutes. The 2015-16 season that earned him the $50 million contract he is now receiving was not a complete fluke. It was, however, seemingly a thing of the past. The league calls for more Tyler Cavanaughs than it does Miles Plumlees these days, and even with a gift of an opportunity with so many injuries in front of him, Plumlee is not showing enough to be a rotation player any longer.